I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Patricia, for inviting me. Aileron, it's been a pleasure seeing all the incredible stuff that you are doing. But before I start, I would like to give you a task. Look around, maybe turn to your left, and to the person to the left, ask this question. When was the last time that you felt excluded? And listen to this person for 1 minute. So, if you are ready, let's start now. My name is Daniel de la Fuente. I'm the service design lead at 𝗄𝗲𝗯𝗶𝗵. And where do you think I'm coming from? Where do you think I was born? Any guess? Close? Close? No? No? I was born and raised in Mexico. I lived there till my late 20s. Then I moved to Spain. And for the last 14 years, I've been living in Austria. So, if you ask me, where do I belong? Where is my home? I'm always saying it's where my wife is. Yes. So, and being a foreigner is nothing bad, is nothing wrong. To the contrary, it's incredible because it empowers every team and it enriches the team with different perspectives. So at 𝗄𝗲𝗯𝗶, we have 45 nationalities among 600 people. I'm part of the design chapter, so every day I'm working on how to improve the experience. And is anyone familiar with George? Please raise your hand. Great. So George is a digital financial application. And we are proud to say that we are trying, or we are getting inspired not by looking at other banking applications, but looking at daily to use apps like Airbnb, Spotify, and so on. When I joined the company almost 7 years ago, one of the first tasks I had was regarding accessibility, because we noticed that we had a contrast issue. We were using a lot of gray text, and slowly we were getting more and more aware of the need to be compliant with accessibility. So slowly it took some time. Nowadays, George is impacting more than 10 million customers. And as you can see, it's not the typical banking application. We gave it a name, we gave it a personality. We try to make it human. So the way George is talking to you is very casual. It's kind of the opposite what you would expect from a bank. And talking about a bank, did you know that so 𝗄𝗲𝗯𝗶 is part of Erste Group? Is anyone familiar with Erste Group? Okay, thanks. We operate in 6 countries, and as you can see, it's very diverse. And this is also great because at George we know this, and we know that you might prefer to use our application in your native language, because we know that finances is something very personal. And language, of course, is the primary filter through which we perceive the world. So words matter. And we know as well that everybody here is different, is unique. And there is a charter, a letter when the bank was found, and it says the following. I would like to read it very shortly. It says, no age, no gender, no social status, no nationality is excluded from the benefits which the Sparkasse offers to every depositor. So the diversity topic, it's at the heart of this huge organization. So imagine 200-year-old bank. And we are also aware that every one of our users, they want to express themselves. That's why personalization is also very important. From changing the color of the icon to identifying through the rainbow, etc., etc. But when we talk about diversity, you need to consider 2 fronts. One is the customer side, and the other one is the internal or the employee side. And I stumbled with these two initiatives the last week, and it's very nice. I would like to share it with you because there are these two videos of people that they have a disability, and they are teaching you how to be more, how to apply accessibility in a better way. So the lady on the left, she has a visual impairment, and she's talking how to be more inclusive. Now, probably you've seen this everywhere, right? Every startup might say innovation is part of our DNA. But I would say diversity as well, like I read it a few seconds ago. In order to build better products, you need to go into diversity more than innovation. And why am I saying this? Because I found this image is very interesting. It says how companies were driven. During the 1950s to the 1980s, everything was linear, authoritative, top to bottom, shut up, do as I say. Then when we moved to the 1980s to the 2000, everything is profitable. How to make money, 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 scale, go global. Then on the 2000 to 2020, technology driven, of course, innovative, responsive, fast. I must say this was written before the AI revolution, so please keep that in mind. But what these experts, they notice is from the 2020 to now, companies are going into more a design-driven approach, meaning you need to focus on connectedness, thinking in a systemic way, and also being inclusive. Now, we have also to think in two parts. You have the problem space and the solution space. If you think that everything is as linear as this, you have a problem. We have a problem because everything we are facing is getting more and more complex. And people are also getting conscious about it. So if I go to the supermarket and I want to buy a can of tuna, I will look at the stamp that says dolphin free. If I want to buy, I don't know, a body cream, I will try to see that it's not harmful for my body. So everything nowadays, we are now able to connect the dots. And we are working in the finance industry, of course, and we have major issues like these three: inequality, poverty, and education. And this is where financial inclusion is the perfect opportunity to fight those three, but from a systemic point of view. And at Erste Bank, we call it our mission to bring financial health to our customers, to bring prosperity, no matter who you are or where you're coming from. But of course, there are some barriers that we need to go through them, right? There might be physical, mental barriers, economic barriers, cultural barriers. I will go a little bit into detail. But first, I would like to present you an example, a case study. We were working on this a few months ago because one of our products is called George Jr., and we are designing for kids. Spoiler alert, when you are designing for kids, you are also designing for the parents. So it's quite complex. You need to study the dynamics, the family dynamics, and for that we invited all the experts. So imagine every country has a customer experience expert. They know all about the numbers, the behavior. So we put them together in one space to co-create, to collaborate. And it was beautiful to see how by bringing diverse perspectives, you're able to tackle and to bring better and more inclusive solutions. So how did it work? Basically, we had an influence map where you put at the center your target. She's Sophie, and she's part of the so-called patchwork family. Her father is divorced. he found a new partner. The partner had already 2 kids. And as you can see, the family dynamics are very interesting. So the grandparents are outside the influence area. The bank, you see, completely out of the picture. So our mission is how to bring the bank closer to Sophie. Right now, she's getting more and more influenced by social media, by Netflix, her friends. So how can we teach her about financial literacy? For that, at George Labs, part of the design chapter, we have a few principles. Everything we do, we have to do it as simple as possible, because George is simple, is intelligent, is personal, and unique. But as well, we need to be aware that everybody is different. Everybody might experience or have a different reality than us. Some people might see the reality like this, the product like this. But if you suffer from color blindness, we have an issue, because we rely too much in colors. So the green and red are gone. So how do you communicate income and output, right? So you have an issue. And then what happens if this person cannot see at all? How's the experience for them? There are no colors, there is no playfulness in the interface. It's all about how the screen reader is reading that to the user. What happens if you're a kid? You have no idea about financial jargon. What is a top-up? What does takeout mean, right? How do you talk to them? You need to be inclusive. For that, we try to bring all the experts, so all the customer experience experts, the data, all the insight from the testings that we had, and all this information, we put it together into 6 inclusive personas. This is public. This is part of our design system. You can access it. I could send you the link afterwards. And just to give you an example, Verna, he's a pensionist. He's already, let's say, in a good situation. And very important to mention about Verna, he's fit. We have 3 financial, let's say, financial health statuses. You can be fit, healthy, or vulnerable. In the case of Verna, he's fit. He has a good reserve. He has his savings. But of course, he suffers from certain impediments or certain barriers. He has hand tremors, so when he's using the application, his hand is shaking. He has poor sight. So you see, some things are better than others, and all of that you need to consider when designing for Verna. Now, Farida, she's an immigrant, and I would like to read you the following. This is a statement that we have in every persona, and just to understand how Farida feels. Imagine stepping into a branch and facing discrimination because of your appearance and the language you speak. You feel the sting of being mocked for your accent, leaving you feeling dismissed and disheartened. Navigating the banking app becomes a struggle as the language barrier adds another layer of complexity. To make matters worse, an Austrian friend informs you that you are being denied the same opportunities, like loans, simply because of your nationality. That's how Farida feels. There is a cultural barrier. How to use personas? Well, with AI, is now more than ever the best opportunity to use personas. You use the prompt, you tell the AI, imagine that you are this person with all the details, and then see what happens. Put it in your customer journey. Imagine, I'm a user, I walk to the branch, I want to start or open a new account. That's the customer journey. But what happens if you change the character? What happens if the kid goes to the branch and tries to open the account? he has to come with the parents. If a blind person comes to the branch and tries to open an account, he also needs to bring a companion because she cannot sign without a witness. So it's very interesting how you could utilize personas in the problem space. When you are in the discovery phase, you try to understand the problem. Like we were saying, we need to tackle the right problem. And one tool that we are using as a single source of truth is our design system. With that, out of the box, our components are accessible. So no matter if you are a retail user, business user, or you are using George Jr., our mission is that everybody should feel welcome. And just before I go, I would like to share some learnings along the way. One of it is, like the example with all the experts, the customer experience experts that we brought in the same room, try that. You cannot create inclusiveness if you are not inviting people to participate. Then it's also not about filling up a quota, because we will end up like similarly to the greenwashing, and that's the tokenism part. That's a very interesting term that basically is just you are doing a symbolic effort trying to be inclusive, but at the end of the day, you are not going to the root of the issue. Then, this topic, it cannot be forced. Be inclusive. Do it now. It has to grow organically. You need to spend time investing in the mind and culture of your organization. And the last piece of advice, don't listen to me. Don't listen to the experts. Go and really sit down, like the first exercise, and listen to the person who has the disability, who is facing the struggles. Talk to them, build empathy. And that's the way we can build better products. So like our CPO, by the way, he's a designer. He says, we are moving from designing apps and features to designing relationships. It's more probable that you will get a divorce that you will change your bank. So we need to spend time in this long-term relationship.